31 on Road to a Million. I know the video yesterday was a little, I don't know, questionable, I would say. And this is just kind of the things that I go through on a daily basis. So it's essentially why I'm sharing this and why I'm doing these videos on a daily basis, because it's one, I can document my process and I can see like, oh, I felt really good today with this idea that I had. Or it could be like, well, maybe this isn't the best idea, or maybe this is just an option for me to do later in the future. I like having the ability to do those things, which is why I do and have been liking this video vlog series of where I can actually say what I need to say instead of typing it out onto a piece of paper, where this is like, it seems like it sticks into my head a little bit more because I'm much more of like an auditory person. So I'm listening to a thing on discipline, or I'll get back to it here in a second. But essentially, it's easier for me to resuscitate words out loud, resuscitate words out loud. I think that's the right word. Instead of doing written words. Like I do written words as well, and I have visuals, and I post other things in other places. But I think my plan has slightly shifted. And my plan always will shift, and maybe that's the problem with why I'm not quote-unquote successful in the ways that maybe other people are. It's just I've never been in a big rush to be able to get to that point. Like I'll get to the point when I get there type of thing. And I understand that there's going to be hard days and tough days and difficult days and all these other types of days that are going to make it difficult for me. And maybe that's why like I've shifted my beliefs. So like what I do right now is like I sell ACH to vendors to get them off of checks. And it's like I don't really believe in the company that I work for anymore, but I do believe in the product itself of like getting vendors off of checks and getting them onto a more automated version of getting paid. So I'm like, I might as well use my job to fund my passion project, to fund the things that I do want to do, because like I ended up creating a different video for my anime channel today. And I really did enjoy kind of the process. Well, not even kind of, like I enjoyed the process of how I put it together and actually had like a visual aid. Like a couple days ago, I think it was day 22, 23 possibly. Like I jumped on the computer and I did some drawing, and like I was talking about how I would do my pitch. I ended up like doing something on there for the anime content, and I genuinely did enjoy that. And I've had 3 people comment on my post as well, where it's like, you are an inspiration, like you are inspiring me to do XYZ thing. They haven't actually said what I'm inspiring them to do, but like just having the positive feedback of like one person is incredible, because I know how much courage it actually takes to be able to comment on somebody's post. So I figure I might as well just keep posting like anime content on YouTube and see where it goes, because with me having the shorts that I've been posting using ChatGPT, they've been getting like quite actually really good traction from what I've been able to see. Like one day I had a given like 15 people subbed me, and my long-term content, like one of the other content videos that I did where it was something that I just enjoyed, like it only did get, and only is subjective as well too, and that's something that I guess I have to realize and other people need to realize as well, or I just need to shift my belief thinking to this, where it's like I had 46 people watch this video, and it's kind of like if just having 46 people in a room, and this was a shift that I talked about, or I was thinking about a while ago, and then I heard Alex Hormozy say it as well when I was listening to one of his videos, because there's a whole thing about us all being connected as one, and I can go into that a little bit more, but it's just an epiphany that I've had. And I hope one day everybody else can become awake in the ways that I am, just being able to say I am who I am essentially. But I can't go around shaking those types of people to be able to come to that point. So it's like I'll keep posting my videos. I'll keep posting content every single day on YouTube, and just primarily focus on this YouTube content, because I've been doing this for 3 years. So I mean, I might as well do it for another 2 years or something like that, and see where I'm at from there, or another 7 years and see where I'm at from there, type of thing, because I think there is something to this. And I think me making this shift between going to like, instead of actually like watching an anime episode or something like that, but instead like analyzing one specific character and then relating specific events from my personal life, my personal experience, or how I use certain aspects of that character to be able to find purpose or meaning or some sort of inspiration from that character into somebody else, because it's a lot of metaphors, and I think metaphors are very powerful in the grand scheme of things. And I was listening to something by Dr. K from the Healthy Gamer channel, and he was talking about that as well, where he was saying like essentially having content, having other people's like using metaphors can be the best way to short circuit or be able to get somebody to come to a conclusion. And like I was talking about a couple of days ago with the guy in the sauna, like I gave him the metaphor of like how everything's connected. Like you have to use your abs or your legs for bench, and you have to use your lower back and your abs for squats. So it's like, even though you're using your legs, it's just like it's all connected as one. He's like, yeah, that's a great metaphor for life. And I'm like, that is true. And a lot of the things that I do is I do metaphors. So I figured might as well try this anime content doing metaphors through this like Miro dashboard that I have, where it's like I can use pictures and I can add some type and some other textures in there. I might also kind of possibly experiment with a different type of format, kind of like this guy Joseph on YouTube does. He's much more one of the guys that does like essentially thinking and the power of thinking, kind of like Neville Goddard, Florence Scovel Shin, Napoleon Hill, like people that are more focused on the mind and how we have more internal power in our own heads instead of our external heads. And I think my whole thing with doing the yoga, like consulting, like I can do that as like a backup plan. Like it's the same thing with me, like selling all my stuff and going and living in my car. It's like, it's a backup plan. Like I'm coming up with all these different options as like backup plans to make sure that I am like covered in case like say something did happen, then at least I have a source of income while I can still primarily focus on YouTube. Because YouTube is like it's the thing that I've wanted to do for the past 6 years essentially. I think it's actually 7 now possibly. It's been a while. So it's like I might as well just keep trying, keep pushing. Like I've had a couple of shorts that have gotten 10,000 views or so I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then other videos of mine like that are actually me talking about the things that I want to talk about, like how I transform my life with like meditation, journaling, the gym, yoga, reading, like personal development work essentially, has like 100 views. And I'm like, that'd be cool. Like having 100 people in a room stand and watch me talk about this, like that's incredible. And like hypothetically, for a couple of years from now or something like that, if it's like I ask 100 people, or I ask like everybody, it's like, hey, you want to come watch me speak about given thing, and then I charge say $50 or something like that for 100 people, like I mean there's what is that, $5,000? So I mean it's pretty good option for me. So it's like I have ways to be able to make money, and like the YouTube channel and like the channel that I'm posting on essentially now is like more right now I'm just posting what I want to post. I've kind of taken myself out of the views, and I'm just kind of giving like I'm just going to let things happen. Like if my content's received well, awesome. If not, like okay. But I genuinely do believe that me just kind of removing myself from the content and not identifying with it will be beneficial. And I was listening to this thing by Dr. K as well about how like we attach our things to our ego. So like when somebody says like I am this type of person, and then when that thing crumbles, then it starts to like affect us all as well. And I had the same thing happen to me as well with like I was identifying as a salesman. Like I was identifying as that specific person. And then when things didn't go the way that I wanted them to, even though I didn't want them to go that way any longer, because I was like, I don't want to be putting so much power and emphasis on this thing. So it's like I got to the place that I needed to at the company where I'm at right now, where it's like I have enough and I can make more when I need to, or I can like reel it back a little bit and be like, hey, yeah, no, it's all good. And I think they're under that understanding as well too, is like now they know like I'm not going to be performing 100% because I'm where I needed to get to be able to get out of my mom's basement essentially and be able to live in an apartment such as this. I'm grateful that she was able to allow me to stay in her place when the pandemic did happen. It's just I had to get out, and that's why I worked my ass off for 2 years at the company to be able to make sure that I could sustain at least a lifestyle on my own, because I'm not dating anyone. I don't have a dog or like anybody else to support myself. So that's why I have these other backup options of doing, say, consulting for yoga studios and going there and being like, hey, I know how to sell. I know how to get 100 new yogis into your studio if you need me to. And I know how to do the cold calling when the time comes. It's just my main focus is like, I've always just wanted to speak. I've always wanted to inspire people to do what they never thought to be possible. And if me doing this through anime is a way for me to do it, and I keep having these ideas in my head where it's like, why not do like a PowerPoint or do like a way where it's like you find one character and then you analyze that character and you go in depth with how that character was successful instead of like analyzing episodes or something like that. Because like I've watched a lot of anime and I can think of tons of characters that I could at least like give that twist on of like, oh, this is why this person's able to succeed, or this is what makes this person special, or whatever it may be. Because I've done the same thing with people just in the everyday world, where I don't think a lot of people that watch anime or even just people in general actually do that. So I was going to look at some stats on this as well, as like how many people can actually bench 225, how many people actually practice hot yoga, how many people actually read a book a year. I'm going to go with a year because I have a feeling there's a very small amount. How many people actually have like 5,000 or 6 months worth of funds saved up in their account to where they could survive, say, God forbid something did happen, which I know and I believe that that's not going to be the case because God's looking after me and I'm essentially looking after myself. So I guess I know that I'm always going to be protected 100%, and anybody that's in my life is also protected as well, because that's just how it works. It's faith, essentially. But there's no buts. It's just cool to see that like there's still receptivity, people that are actually watching like the videos that I want to. Like, yeah, sure, they aren't getting hundreds of millions of views, but it's me sharing what I want to share, and it's getting the views that I want them. Like, it's getting a good amount of views. So like I said, I'm just going to take myself out of that situation more or less, see what happens, and yeah, it should be good. I don't think I'm going to be working on getting a client for this month. If I have to, like I will, like I have no problem doing that. If I find some time, like I still may make some cold calls. But like my primary focus, I would say, is trying to figure out better ways to structure like my videos on YouTube and see if there's another way that I can at least get monetized within a couple, like by the end of the year. That'd be awesome. Who knows if that's like, I believe it to be true. Like, and I listened to something actually before recording this video. Let me pull this up, because essentially, I want to make sure that I say it right for us. Is it this one? No, sorry, it's the Writers Hub. So essentially what it was, it's actually a pretty wise thing, I would say. So, did I not write? Oh, an individual will not do better until he believes better can be done. And that just kind of, I would say, it stuck with me or a little bit. Like I resonated with that quite a bit, because I didn't believe that I could get those views. And then when I see like my shorts views, like sure, they're just spikes or whatever it may be, but like they're getting 18,000 views in an hour or something like that. So I'm like, clearly there is value for my content, even if the shorts views are more related to like unknown anime facts compared to like the inspirational stuff that I do. It's okay. Like, it's getting at least people into the ecosystem, and that's my main goal, is like, let's get people into the ecosystem. Let's get people into at least aware of my name. And then if they want to watch long form content and they want to realize and find something that they probably didn't know, because like the unknown anime facts is technically tied to like unknown abilities that are within the actual world outside of anime. So there is correlation there, and that's kind of what I'm hoping will at least possibly bring some people in. And then who knows, maybe I'll post some other stuff on my personal account as well. We'll see, but I just like that idea. And I do genuinely like the idea of having and doing consulting business, and maybe there's just a belief that I'm worried that I won't be able to provide the things that I can provide, and that's why I can do it for free. It's just after the past couple of weeks, I've come to realize that I can speak with anybody on anything, and I can make pitches, and I can close deals if I have to. Like, if I am on the brink of whatever it may be, like I do have offers and I do have services that I can provide. So I'm not worried about like surviving or living anymore, which is fantastic, because there was a time where I was like, crap, how am I going to be able to afford this place or whatever it may be? But then it's like, I know how to make 10K in a month if I have to. Like, and I know 15K is coming to me here shortly. So like I already have it technically, so I'm not too worried about that. Like I already have everything that I need, and it all starts within. Nothing's outside of us, and I can go into that a little bit more in a couple of other videos as well. But if any of you want to use at least the stuff that I used prior on getting yoga studios to 100 yogis, then by all means use the information. I just figured I might as well put in some work and try and see if I can get it to work. And if not, oh well. But I'm going to continue to educate myself in any way, in every way that I know how to, and keep trying to do different things, more or less, until the one thing just sticks. Because anybody that's tried, like, has gotten there. And as long as I don't give up, and as long as I keep giving it my all, I'll make it eventually. Like the guy said on the boat when I was in New Hampshire, he's just like, solitary man, and then he's like, if you're in no rush, like, what's the rush? I'm like, I've never been in a rush. Like, if you guys saw my videos when I first started doing content back on Facebook, like, I was yelling at the camera. It was bad. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's very cringeworthy, I would say. But I mean, everybody has to start somewhere. So this is me starting and seeing where this next 30 days will go, and I'll give you guys an update. And if who knows? But I think I have a good feeling about what's going to be happening, so not too worried, and we'll just keep moving forward.